What's up, chat? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome. So we're going to do the typical start out with housekeeping. We're going to do a follow-up stream tonight. It'll be a mirrored copy of this. I couldn't do one last week. YouTube had a global outage, so I couldn't get a stream to work. So we just didn't do it because you wouldn't have been able to find it anyways. We are doing a Twitch stream tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific. So we're still doing that, covering Ruckus at home. But we're going to do some interesting things there. So first things first, I'm going to cover a lot of the ICX stuff. So we're going to get an ICX managed by Unleashed. Also going to perform an upgrade and show home users how they can do an upgrade on that ICX. Pretty simple. We'll just use a USB thumb drive, which I've got right here. We'll do that and get that rolling, and then Friday, Brian is doing the agnostic training again for routing and switching protocols, which has been awesome. He's been doing a fantastic job of that. So, yeah, come join. So Friday, Brian's is at 11. Tomorrow, we're doing Twitch at 1 Pacific. Well, I should back up. Tomorrow, Twitch is at 1 Pacific. Friday, Brian's is at 10 a.m. Pacific. So we'll be doing that. And then we're kind of discussing certain things internally a little bit. YouTube is an awesome platform if you're looking for videos and you need to go find a video and get something. For streaming, there are some challenges. So we've actually discussed moving all of our streaming over to Twitch. Your thoughts are absolutely welcome on that in chat, so let us know. I did the first Twitch stream last week and it was awesome. Nightbot was instantaneous. We got, a lot of viewers. We got a lot of exposure. So it was really good. I enjoyed it. It's a great platform. So it was a lot of fun. So, let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know what you're thinking. 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain. I think you're a little off, Brian, because it's 11 Mountain. Unless you're changing the time. Or maybe I can't count. So, speaking of this, my uncle sent me a text message last night. He sent it to my dad and I and my brother-in-law. And he said, he said, we're only relying on the fact that today is Tuesday because we're having faith in the fact that nobody lost count over time. So I kind of thought about that and I was like, yeah, it could be Thursday for all we know. We could be way off. Or maybe they missed it enough times we ended up back full circle. So, yeah, so Brian's is on Friday, it's at 10 a.m. Pacific, which would be 11 o'clock Mountain. And I think that's 1 o'clock Eastern. So I feel like NBC trying to announce all these different times. But that's that. But we are discussing some different things. So the Twitch stream tomorrow, we're going to do a couple things. One, I'm going to do the ICX stuff. Some more Unleashed stuff, things like that. And then one of the really, really cool things I'm looking forward to is I've got some hardware. It's a network attached storage, an Intel NUC. I have all the hardware for it. So I'm going to do a full unbox of that. We're going to build it on the stream after I go through the Unleashed stuff. And the reason I want to do that is because that really is driven towards the home users. In doing that, I can show home users how to build their own home labs. So you can build, an Intel NUC. I've got an ESXi individual license I'll put on it. We'll get some VMs spun up. So we'll actually take the SmartZone that we're using here for these streams. I'll migrate it over to that NUC. We'll have it installed there. We'll install Radius, CloudPass. So we'll start to build out the portfolio, and then we can really start to do some pretty cool things with that. So our Twitch channel is Ruckus EDU. You can find it there. We'll be doing that tomorrow at 2 o'clock Mountain. I'm actually looking forward to that. That's going to do two things, really. It's going to make the live stream platform much easier to use for me because I'll have everything self-contained on one piece. We'll get all of our access points attached to it. We'll have ICXs in there. We'll have Radius. We'll have all of these different applications that we need. We'll be able to build all that stuff out, and I can kind of show you how to build that. If you're looking for different, home lab type stuff, you can do that as well. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so today with SmartZone, I'm going to do a couple things. First of all, I'm going to give you the same old caveat I always give you. I am not a SmartZone expert. I work in it. I use it. I have a lot of conversations with people that are about 1,000 times smarter than me about it. I like to show you how to do this stuff, but I also like the fact that I'm not an expert, because you can see, you know, the real life stumbles through things. So I'm not afraid to make fun of myself at all. So we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to go through a client connectivity trace. I want to show you that just one more time, just so you can see it and kind of go through what a lot of that means. And then we're going to do some Wireshark captures. So I'm going to do it in two ways. I'm going to do a local one within SmartZone, and then we're going to do one where we just stream it off into Wireshark, so you can see how that works. I'll give you some of the caveats with that as well. And then to cap it off, I'm gonna show you the spectrum analysis tool. Keep in mind, SmartZone has a very good implementation of it if it's something you need to do kind of quick hit. If you're doing and looking at site survey stuff and you're really needing to troubleshoot spectrum at a deeper level, there's plenty of tools out there that can do that, especially from a site survey perspective. If you need to go in and make sure that you're deploying your wireless network correctly, I would recommend using those. But this is a great tool to use. It makes it very simple, very clean. It's great, so I have no issues with it. So what I'm going to do is I've got an old iPad here, and I'm going to, well, maybe I'm not, because I think the battery died. Let's see. I was going to use this as my client to put on there, but I don't know how that's going to work if the battery's dead. I didn't think I turned this thing off, but maybe I did. So we're going to see. Let me get this thing booted up. We will be using SmartZone once again. So you're in the right place in case you were looking for a different live stream. If not, I can use my other phone to connect to that wireless LAN, and we'll have no issues with that. So, oh yeah, this thing is dead. Okay, well, so much for the iPad. We'll use the phone. So we're going to do, first things first, we're going to go down here to troubleshooting. I got to disconnect from this guy. Hold on. Get. Okay, I want to forget this one too. So on that note, how's everybody doing? Brian, thanks for joining. Good to see you. I know you're busy in the middle of about 30 different things. Let me get rid of all these. There we go. Okay, we're cleaned up. So what I'm going to do is we're going to grab, I think it's this one. We're going to find out. So you just select the MAC address for what you're trying to do this trace on. And then we're going to go in here and select our AP. And for this one, we're going to use, now keep in mind, a lot of the stuff we built out last week, I deleted out of it because we were going to do an evening live stream, and then YouTube decided to crash, so we didn't do that. So I'm going to just have to select that. It's basically back to the default state it was in when we started. So DPSK and stuff like that is gone. But we'll go ahead and select this, and then you select the AP that you want, and then just click start. Okay, now, once this client attaches to this wireless network, which I've got to go in and grab it, we should see there we go. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to see. So it spits that out immediately. And usually I look to just make sure that the DHCP ACK comes through, and then I know it's good. So we'll stop the trace. All right. The auth request, this is it authenticating to the AP itself. Okay. This is it authenticating to the wireless LAN. So it shows that it's getting the same AP. The SSID is packets. It's one I just created, and the radio. Okay. Then we get this 802.11 auth request, and this is basically the challenge going back and forth to the AP, saying, "Can I connect to you?" Then you get this four-way handshake, and the four-way is basically a pairwise transient key. So that's what's established between the AP and the client. Okay, so that's where that piece comes in. And then here, the last piece of it is we end up hitting DORA. And DORA is DHCP discover, offer, request, acknowledge. Okay. Now the nice thing is once you get through this, the request, it's going to show you, oops, where'd it go? The acknowledgement, it'll show you the IP address that it was handed. Okay, so we know what IP is on that client now, if we need it for whatever reason. So this will at least show you those pieces. If there's anything fishy going on in there, you'll be able to see it just through this, and then you can go in and expand your troubleshooting from there. Okay. All right, so we've got that piece going. That's pretty simple. Okay. Now, what I need to do is remember where I went to do this. You go to access points. Okay, so we're going to do the Wireshark capture piece of this now. Okay. So what we're going to do with this is you go to your access points, you select the AP. Okay, you go to more, and we're going to go to packet capture. Okay, this is pretty crucial. So this is something you can do to where you can say, look, I've got some pretty goofy things going on. I want to see what kind of traffic is actually going out there over the air. Keep in mind, I do have, I don't do this at work. I'm doing this for this live stream only, but I have my iPad connected. I have Netflix streaming a movie just in the background so that I have some kind of traffic going through it, because I really want to see that traffic going through. Because when we do the packet capture after this, I'm going to do it on two different pieces. I'm going to do it on the WLAN interface, and I'm going to do it on the Wi-Fi interface, and I'll talk about the differences in those. But you'll be able to see what we're doing there. Okay. But what I'm going to do here is capture mode. I'm going to do save to a file. We know our client is attached via 5 gigahertz. So we're going to use that one. And then I could put a MAC filter in here on the client, but I'm not going to, because I want you to see everything that's hitting it right now. Okay. So all you do is you just click start and it'll capture. And use this wisely. Okay. Packet capture files can become really large, really fast. So with this, we don't have the ability to kind of limit down how much data is dumped into one file. So we don't want to go crazy. So this is a good way to do it if we need, quick information, get it. Okay, we got it. Great, stop. Okay. I don't want to let this thing run forever because these files will get large. Okay. All right, so now we just do a simple download. Now, the one thing with this is it does use a tar.gz format, so you're going to have to use something like 7-zip to get this thing unpacked. But I'll show you how to do that. So in our downloads, we're just going to go in and open this up. And I have 7-zip already, so I'll just drill down into this, and I'm going to go ahead and extract that. Extract it into downloads. Okay, we got it. So now, go into downloads. And here we have it, okay? So it just in downloads, it put that file in there, which is the MAC address of the AP. Then the capture 0 PCAP file, I'm gonna go ahead and open that. I have Wireshark installed, so it'll just open right up. Hey, Trevor, thanks for joining, my friend. Good to see you. Okay, so now we can see all of this traffic that's in here. Broadcasts, all kinds of stuff. Now with Wireshark, you can go in, we can narrow this down to destination IP, destination MAC, things like that. But we really just want to see this traffic that's in here. So this is a broad look at it. It's showing you all the 802.11 traffic. You see your beacon frames, you can see some control frames, QoS data, things like that. Of course, you're always going to see malformed packets. That's just the nature of it. So we're going to have those no matter what. Okay. Apple stuff, of course, pretty chatty. All kinds of good stuff. Okay. But yeah, you can drill into this. I mean, if you're familiar with Wireshark, you're going to be pretty familiar with what's going on here. You should get some pretty decent information out of it. All right. So the other cool thing is you can see signal strength. So you see noise level here. And these are beacon frames, of course, so you're going to see this. But you'll see your noise level, signal to noise ratio. You get your timestamps. You'll see the data rate. So it's running at 6, so that's pretty slow, but it's also OFDM. Okay. So looks pretty good. I don't see anything glaring in here. Okay, so that's one way to do it. This is the quick hit. Give me some info. Show me what's going on. Let me see what traffic's going on out there. All the good stuff. Okay. All right. Now, let me show you the cleaner, more intuitive way to do this. Okay. So I'm going to close Wireshark. We're going to go back in here. Oops. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these files because it'll want to do those. Oops. Close 7-zip to delete it. Okay, bye-bye. All right. This is actually pretty fun. Okay, so we're going to go back here. We're going to go to packet capture again. And instead of save to file, we're going to do stream to Wireshark. And the Wireshark station IP, I believe. Yep, you can filter on all of that, Trevor. You can filter on pretty much everything you want. What did I do with this? I don't think I have to do that because I'm going to pull this elsewhere. So we're going to stream to Wireshark. I'm just going to say start. Okay. All right. So that started. So now we just need to open up Wireshark. Okay. All right. First things first, go to capture and options. Okay. And in output, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and create a new file automatically after every 100 megabytes. If you have to, this is a lot of times. Yeah, Jesse, you're right. You could point it to the machine. I've actually not done that just because if it starts to stream it, it'll just stream it out and you just have to pick it up. I haven't had issues with that, but you know, Murphy's live stream law might prove us differently on this one. We'll see. But as you know, a lot of times we do have to run packet captures for a long period of time. If you have weird behavior going on, you're trying to narrow it down, figure out what's going on, it's hard to find. So you have to run these really long at-length packet captures to find it. This will allow us to do that. So every 100 megabytes, we're going to create a new file. And we'll just let it run. I mean, it's still a text file, but it's, you know, it's one of those things. So I have a file here. Oops. Or a folder here, and I'm just going to call it livestream cap. Okay, so we have that. Now for input, we're going to go to the input tab and we're going to go to manage interfaces. Okay, I'm going to create 2 of these. So I want to not only see the actual WLAN traffic, but I also want to see the Wi-Fi 0 traffic. So when I take a client and attach it to that Wi-Fi interface, that's where, when I want to connect to it, I need to see what's going on the Wi-Fi interface. When I'm looking at, oh, it popped it up on the other screen, sorry. When I'm looking at wireless LAN traffic, like what's being sent in terms of actual traffic, then I want to see the WLAN interface. So I'm going to capture on both. So you go to the remote interfaces tab, we have everything selected, which is fine. And we'll just say, okay, everything's selected because I picked this up earlier. So something you have to note is if we go here, I can see the IP address. It's kind of grayed out, but you can see the IP address of the access point. So what I had to do when I did this earlier was when I went to manage interfaces, I could do this. I could delete it and start over. You go to the plus sign. 95.27, which is populating there. And then you don't need a port, null authentication. We'll say okay, and it'll populate all the interfaces on the access point here. So we have them all, they're all checked. We can grab any of them that we want to. So we'll just say, okay. Let me get back in here. And then what it'll do is it'll pop this up on input. So what I want to do now is select the actual interface that I want to start a capture on. Okay, so I'm going to select this guy and hit start. Okay, now we'll see some traffic. This is the WLAN interface. So we see some stuff going on here. Okay, and you can let this thing run as long as you want. Now in conjunction with this, we can go in and start another Wireshark session. Okay. We can go to capture options. We're going to do the same thing, output. We're going to create a new file every 100 megabytes. Browse. We'll go to our captures file and we'll go to live stream Wi-Fi 0. Okay. Name it appropriately just so you know which file is which. And then manage interfaces. See if it opens it on the wrong screen again, which it might. Nope, it didn't. Okay. Remote interfaces, we have all these, it's there. So we'll say, okay, cool. And then we're good there. So under input, we're going to select, I did WLAN 0. Now I'm going to, wait. Which one did I do? WLAN 0. So we need to do Wi-Fi 0. So we have this one and we hit start. So now on our Wi-Fi 0, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this client. Just turn our Wi-Fi off. And we'll turn it back on. And it associated immediately. So we should see that over here. Now you can stop this capture here. And we can stop this capture here. This Wi-Fi 0 isn't picking anything. Close that. We're good. Go here. We'll just stop it. So there you go. It's streamed. We have files locally. So if we go into here, we see our files. So we can go back and reference these. We can send them to support. You know, we can share them with our peers, whatever we need to do. But this is in here. So now we have all of this information that's hitting this Wi-Fi or the WLAN interface. And we see all of it. So we need to go in and capture something we can. We see router solicitations. So something's chatting in IPv6. But we have all of it. So pretty fancy. Okay. Looking good. Now, one thing I will say is if you don't spend a lot of time in Wireshark, yeah, and Trevor, you're right. Don't forget to stop this capture here, because otherwise it'll just keep running forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. If Wireshark isn't your forte, if you don't use it very often, or if you're not super comfortable with it, but you know you need to sit down and kind of start digging through some packet captures and finding things, we do have some videos. I know Jesse did a video on our YouTube channel that has some in-depth information on how to kind of interpret what Wireshark is giving you. And so you can go through that video. Is very intuitive. He did an amazing job of it. So you can go through and look at that. It'll give you tons of info. So then you can go through and you get a better understanding of what you're actually looking at. And it'll really help you sit down and start to troubleshoot this stuff at a bit more of a granular level. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the spectrum analysis piece. You can do this remotely. You can do this on any access point you want. You can kind of get a picture of what's going on in the area from a spectrum point of view. You can look at it from 2.4 gig. You can look at it from 5 gigs. So we can see here that we have an access point that's chatting on channel 6, and also for 5G is chatting on channel 159. Okay, so we get some good info there. Okay, so we have to go back to troubleshooting. Oh, wait, there's one thing we have to do. So I'm going to run a speed test on this guy when I get this thing running. But in SmartZone 521, you have to turn speed test on. So you have to actually enable it per access point. So this AP, I'm going to go to configure. And then if you go in here under advanced options, you go all the way to the bottom. It says test speed is off. We're going to turn that on. Okay. So I want to be able to run a speed test while I do this. Now, we found that little toggle switch right before the stream started. I didn't get a chance to make sure that the SpeedFlex app would run correctly. So this might be an adventure. We'll see. But then you go to troubleshooting. Okay. And in here under type, we're going to go to spectrum analysis. And the AP MAC address, you know, if we go to select, we just want to make sure we have the correct AP selected, which we do. That's the R730 that we have attached. And then you can do this on either radio. So you can do it on 5 gig. You can do it on 2.4. So 5 gig, what this is going to do is in the segment, this is going to be your channel. So as you know, 5 gig has tons of channels, right? So lower is going to be channels 36 through 64. Middle is going to be channels 100 through 144. And then upper would be 149 through 165. But you can set that. You can set it at 2.4 gig. But the main thing you really need to look at is if I go to clients real quick and I look at wireless clients, my phone right here is showing it is attached. Oh boy, I just got lost. Oh, channel 149. So it's attached at 5 gigahertz. Okay. So since I'm going to be running the speed test on it to kind of show you what's going on, we're going to have to test that. So we're channel 149. So what I'm going to do is if I go into spectrum analysis, we're going to go to 5 gig. And I'm actually going to select upper because upper is channel 149 through 165. So I want to see that piece of it. Okay. Amplitude, everything we're going to leave. The sweep spectrum, everything we're going to leave this is amplitude and average. We don't need to get too crazy with it. All right. So these little dots in here, that's going to be the highest selected signal that it can find. Okay. So I know a lot of folks that have a lot of experience and exposure to spectrum analyzers are probably looking at this in a much more intuitive manner. But, you know, like I said, in a pinch or if you need to just kind of see what's going on in the space, people introduce access points all the time. This will kind of show you if things have changed on you pretty dramatically. So we'll go ahead and hit start. Now, this will warn you, it's going to prevent Wi-Fi clients from joining that access point. So if you have a sparsely deployed wireless environment, this might actually crater people's connectivity. So I wouldn't recommend doing this during daylight hours. If you could help it, maybe do it in the evening when everybody's not around. That might be a good time to do it. So we're going to go ahead and continue because it's a live stream. I can do whatever I want. Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let me go to phone. Now we're going to go over here to speed test. I should have this all set up. And as this thing runs, we should see this thing start to spray out some traffic on it. Let's see what happens. Ah! It did it again. All right, so 9527 was our access point. Let's make sure we have the right source IP address. That might be our issue. Let's find out here. 95.16. I don't know why my speed test does not want to work. 192.168.95.27. 192.168.95.16. Run test. Start. Oh, there we go. I just had to do it twice. Okay, so as you can see, this is running. I'm going to let it run. I'm going to go over here to this demo screen again, because as you can see, it is running. We'll start to see this thing chatter more, okay? And it should start to chatter in these ranges. It popped up, and then as soon as I switch, there you go. See it? So you'll see that stuff happening there. Okay, so it ran the tests, so we saw it. So you can see the traffic in there. And you can see all of this in here. So the sweep spectrum is showing you all this as well. But the real-time usage, this thing, it'll run for a very, very long time. So depending on how long you want to let it run for, it will run for a while. But it will show you all of this and what's going on. The other thing, too, is this access point has 2 clients attached to it. So one, it has an iPad on it that is streaming content right now. And also this piece, just running the speed test, I'll run it again and see if it'll pop that those bars up there so you can see it start to chatter. Okay, so downlink is done, uplink is going. Maybe not pure real time, but it'll show it here and there. Okay, and this is a really broad spectrum too. So the other thing, now that that piece is done, if I stop this, And it does kind of crater the CPU on it, so just be aware of that. So I get it stopped. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to do this in a narrower piece so that you can see the entire spectrum, because if we do it on 2.4 gig, that's channels 1 through 11, right? And we're not using all of those in that spectrum, but if I go ahead and do this and I start it, yep, I know. Ooh, there we go. Now we're seeing all kinds of stuff. And what I might actually do is, just for fun, wow, I want to show you these results. That's what I'm talking about. That's what happens when you have an access point about 2 feet away from you. That uplink is crushing the downlink. That's pretty funny. All right, so I'm going to do this real quick because I want to just play with something. If I go in here to this wireless LAN, I'm going to configure it. And come on. All right. Where is the option I'm looking for? I should have found this before I started. I want to turn off the 5 gig radio. I'm so used to Unleashed at this point, it's pretty funny. Rate limiting. All right, help me out, chat. Where's the control for 5 gig radio? Okay, AP level. See, I told you, I'm too used to Unleashed. I'm in the wrong place. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Radio options. Bye-bye. Okay, now, get that one broken down. Go to clients, and we should see... This client should update and go to a different radio. Maybe. Turn the Wi-Fi off. Oh, whoops. All right, got it. Wow, I didn't think it would take that long. It's connected. Ryan's favorite site's loading. And open the Apple site. There we go. Channel 6. Okay. So let's go back to troubleshooting. I'm just doing this as a test. I know there's 1,000 different ways to do that, but I just want to kind of show this. So 2.4 gig, we'll start it again. And it's going to run. And run, and run. Okay, so let's go back here. Go to our speed test again. Watch it give me an error. Yep, it did. Why do you always have to mess with me during a live stream? Every time. Oh. You gotta see this. This is awesome. So it actually didn't see that I got an IP address because you can see it gave the default. So let me kill it. Fig. Oh, it disconnected me from Wi-Fi. That was rude. Oh, really? Apparently this thing won't support 2.4 gig, so it's not going to have it. Way to go, Fruity Phone. I know, there's so much chatter in here, Trevor, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so apparently Apple doesn't like having only 2.4 gig available, because it's not having it. So much for my grand theory on showing you that, but I just wanted to basically show you that if I ran that speed test on this thing when it's sitting at 2.4 gig, which if this iPad had any juice, I'll have to plug this thing in later. Well, actually, hold on. I might have enough juice to get it connected. Let's see. Because this is an older one, so it might actually find... Nope, still not having it. Okay, well, it doesn't like 2.4 gig. I tried, but no go. So it was a great thought. Basically, all I wanted to show you is when you run that speed test, you'll be able to see in this channel range where it's connected like at channel 6, you'll be able to see... Oh, you can't see that. I'm on the wrong screen. But you'll be able to see here in this area that chatter going up a lot, right? But if the thing won't support... If the device itself won't support 2.4 gig, it's not going to do it. Yeah, Remy, I've looked at doing that, but I always forget, and it's just because I'm forgetful, because there's so many going on. Yep, and they're all falling off on the bottom. So I'm sure I could find it. In fact, let's try this. Let me try something just for fun. Other. Oh no, I'm back. Let's see if I can do this. We'll do other. Nope, it won't join it. Even if I try to do it manually, it's not happening. That's interesting. I'm going to have to look into that. All right. See you, Trevor. Thanks for stopping by. We're about done anyways. I knew this one was going to be short today. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my access point, and I better turn that radio back on. So we'll go in here. We'll go to configure. We will do WLAN service on the 5 gig. I'm willing to bet that thing connects right away. Yep, it did. Immediately. Never fails. Awesome. Okay, like I said, I knew today was going to be pretty short. I just wanted to show you that stuff and that you have the ability to do that. Keep in mind, next week is the week of Thanksgiving, so there will not be a live stream on Wednesday or Thursday. I know a lot of people are taking time off. Hopefully you get to spend some time with your family, and hopefully it's not virtual. I know everything's getting a little out of control right now, but hopefully you have the opportunity to do that. Spend some time with your family, friends. Don't overeat, because we all do it. And then we'll be back the following week. We'll probably start going into some of the hotspot stuff. So, because tomorrow we'll have the ability to get all of our VMs spun up and get all of the infrastructure pieces we need in, we'll start to do that, you know, coming up after Thanksgiving break. So that should be a lot of fun. We'll start to bring CloudPath into it. We'll be able to get, you know, some clustering going and things like that. I'm really excited to get that going. So if you get a chance tomorrow, don't forget Twitch. It's Ruckus EDU. We'll be there at 1 o'clock Pacific. We'll go through some Unleash stuff first, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up with getting all the hardware built out. And we're going to do the unboxing. We're going to build it, everything right there on stream. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll go from there. So awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have a great, safe, awesome Thanksgiving, and we'll see you on the flip side. Thanks. My Stream Deck doesn't work. It never fails. Where's it at? Okay, well, I'm signing off at some point if I can ever find the right thing. Nope, I can't find it. So I'm just going to stay here the whole time, and you're just going to have to stare at me, because that's what it's going to be like now. There it is. All right. I'm out of here. See you guys. Thanks.